Good afternoon and welcome to Midday Live. I am Aisha Yakubu. Coming up this afternoon, fertilizer smuggling major hindrances to successful implementation of government's Planting for Food and Jobs program. And on the international front, police say the man charged over Friday's twin mosque attacks in the New Zealand city of Christchurch is believed to have acted alone. To our very first story, renewed clashes in Chereponi in the northeast region has left one severely wounded. Security personnel were dispatched to the area. Over 10 people have been killed between June 2018 and January 2019 as a result of clashes involving the feuding faction. Now, an investigation is being carried on in circumstances that led to the shooting incident. Now, let's speak with DSP Yusuf Tanko, who is the Public Relations Officer of the Police in the Northern Region. Good afternoon, sir, and thanks for joining us. Now, what is the situation in Chereponi today?
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon to you and good afternoon to your viewers as well. We are still on the ground with our military counterparts trying to ensure we keep the peace, trying to prevent attacks on communities and also attacks on motorists. We have sent reinforcements yesterday. This morning, we are sending more reinforcements to go and be able to control and also patrol the larger area so that we'll be able to get the peace that we are looking for.
Now, we learned there's a 22-year-old victim who was undergoing emergency medical care. How is he doing now?
Yeah, he's responding to treatment. Yesterday, we had report that somebody had been shot the previous night, and we understand he sustained gunshot wounds to the right hand and also to the right thigh, and he was taken to the hospital. But our understanding is that he's responding to treatment.
Now, residents are now living in fear, at where the shooting took place. What is your assurance to these residents?
Yeah, what I would say is it is very important that both the Chokoses and the Kunkumbes lay down their arms and then resort to using peaceful means to resolve their differences. For the persons who are living, some of them, their homes have been burnt, so it is difficult to ask them to stay. So we will appeal to NADMO to look at the situation and the assistance that they can offer, they do offer. That notwithstanding, we are on the ground, we are sending more men, we are patrolling the larger area and trying to ensure that we bring the situation under firm control.
Thank you so much, DSP Tanko. Now, DSP Tanko is the Public Relations Officer of the Police in the Northern Region. We move on to other stories. And 16 officers of the Town and Country Planning and Public Works Department of the Ningo Pram District Assembly undertaking their duties have been beaten by land guards. They were assaulted by the alleged land guards whilst on official duty to check building permits at Afenya in the district. Josephine Frimpong reports the officers are seeking justice.
It was a black day for officers of the Town and Country Planning and Public Works Department of the Ningo Pram District Assembly. None, according to them, was spared at the construction site at Afenya. 16 officers of Ningo Pram Assembly have been assaulted by alleged landguards on their normal duty for inspection of permits on buildings. Well, I have with me two of the victims who also suffered the same fate.
We're on a normal routine checkup of building that came up in our district without permit. And I must say that we had 3 pickup vehicles that will move in a convoy just to make sure that the synergy between the Works Department and Town and Country Planning, who has the layouts for the district, is complied with by all construction workers. We got to the site I questioned the workers where their permit was, and they said they don't have the permit. So, as standard practice, we marked the building and asked them to stop. We saw Toyota pickup vehicle drove into the yard. It's a big yard, and in this pickup were about 12 men, and then the others on motorbikes. As soon as they got in, what are we doing here? Then I quickly approached them and told them, look, these are officers from Ningo Pram Pram District Assembly with a car clearly labeled. So we are not here for any fight. They will not listen. They had this high tension cable which was cut into pieces. So when they meet you, they just lash you. In fact, in the process, I just had power at my right eye, you can see. And I could not even tell which appliance was used.
I was the first person they attacked, you know. So I was speaking to the gentleman that we are not here to fight anybody. By the time I opened my eyes, he threw the cutlass, he hit the cutlass at the left side of my arm, trying to hit my head. So I have to dodge it, and it hit my left hand. So as he was talking to me, another person was standing beside him. And he used a plastic, I think a metal or something, to hit his head. So as he held his head, shouting, he followed him at the back and started beating him with the electrical cables, both left and right. And I also received my back, the task force that we all went with them, they bounced on them, beating them mercilessly. Some became unconscious, pretend as if they are dead, before they stopped. You see, it was brutal.
They alleged that attacks had warned them not to come back to the site because it was a government-acquired land to be used for the One District, One Factory project.
That very site was supposed to be one of them, but the point must be made clear that 1D, 1F is not exempted from building permit.
Michael says the 40-minute showdown has left him in pain.
Looking at my left arm, since that day, it's very difficult for me to raise it. But because of the amoxiclav and the one painkiller they gave me, I've forgotten the name, that's what I've been taking at the moment. District Chief Executive Jonathan Doku confirmed the story.
I'm told they've not effected any arrest as of now, but they are on the heels of the perpetrators of this crime.
We followed up to the Pram Pram Polyclinic, where the victims visited to seek medical attention. Hospital authority also confirmed that they suffered various degrees of injuries which will need further attention. But at the time of filing this report, the victims were yet to pick the medical forms to pursue their case at the police station. Ningo Pram Pram district is noted for incidents of regular clashes between developers and landlords. Areas including Afienya, Dowenya and adjoining towns of Ningo and Shai are most problematic when it comes to the acquisition of lands, with the operations of landlords are rife here. Although development control officers have to deal with their presence, their constant appearance makes it difficult to work. TV3 will keep viewers posted on this developing story. Josephine Frempon, TV3 News, Pram Pram.
Now, the Winneba Health Center in the Futu municipality of the Central Region has a limited supply of medicine and other consumables. Staff of the facility say their inability to solve their challenge is as a result of delay in reimbursement of national health insurance claims.
The Winneba Health Center is located about half kilometer from the south campus of the University of Education. The facility provides essential health services to residents in 13 communities, although it is not the only health facility in the municipality. Access to services of the health center is not difficult because the facility is situated in the heart of the Winneba community. However, services are rendered without comfort because the center lacks key logistics and operational materials. Medicines, for instance, are not easily acquired. The health center's vaccine fridge has not been repaired after it broke down 2 years ago. As a result, vaccines are now stored in cold boxes.
We need to get a vaccine fridge so that we can maintain the potency of the vaccines.
The facility also does not have spacious rooms. A small palpation room also serves as storage facility. Delivery and maternity wards are not spacious and lack washrooms.
Spacing here, that's our problem. We don't have washroom, we don't have message room. It's the clients to adjourn when they want to pour something. They have to direct them to the big facility, adjourn, which is not good for a pregnant woman to go to that place adjourn because anything can happen along the way.
Health workers say the health center has not been able to solve the problems facing them because the National Health Insurance Authority is indebted to them.
As a government facility, we rely solely on the payment of NHI claims to run the facility. So if the money is not coming, it affects the service we render.
Supporting staff are also not being paid regularly. The Winneba Health Center shares wall with other abodes. Another challenge the health center is contending with is the disposal of fecal matter on their premises by residents nearby. Authorities say persistent efforts to prevent the practice have not been fruitful. The Afutu Municipal Assembly and Health Directorates are yet to address the concerns of the facility.
Health workers at Wangala Krom in the Takwanswaye municipality of the Western region have no place of abode. Stanley Nibleu reports health workers have converted the health center's consulting room into a sleeping place.
In Chemia, Wangala and Bedukrom are three communities located about 6 kilometers from New Mankasim in the Takwanswaye municipality. The communities fall within the catchment areas of the Goldfields Ghana Limited and used to have an increased population due to the booming activities of illegal mining known as Galamsey. However, the deployment of Operation Vanguard team to the community scared many and had to flee the community. Chief of Wangala Krom, Nana Kofi Juma Bio, corroborated the information the mission team had gathered.
Before the construction of the health center, we had huge population. Majority of the people were farmers, but they have had to leave because their farmlands have been taken away from them by the mining firms.
When the mission team visited the community, many residents had vacated their homes. The adjoining communities were fortunate to have a health center donated by Anglo-Good Ashanti Dieprim Mines to cater for the basic health needs of the people. After the makeshift structure serving as a chips compound became weaker. The new health center has been built to include everything the facility needs, but patronage remained low. The donors also furnished the facility and installed a water system. Although these have been put in place to provide comfort for smooth operation of the facility, the water pump is not in use because the health center is not connected to the national grid.
We work about 6 to 7 minutes. We go and fetch water. When they bring a baby or let's say an infant or a baby 1 to 5 years and the child is suffering from malaria, we have to do tape sponge. Sometimes we will not have water, so we have to run to the borehole and fetch water.
3 health workers have been deployed to man the facility, but they have no place of abode. On their own volition, they have converted the store and consulting room into sleeping places. A midwife assigned to the community refused the posting because she had no accommodation. In charge of the facility, Goke Nyangsen laments residents do not pay for services rendered to them.
When the client comes to the clinic, he will not tell you whether he is having money or not. He will sit there, if it's injection, you will inject him or her, you will give him or her drugs. After treatment, then he will tell you don't have money. Some pay after treatment, others too, they will not pay. They will tell you they are not working, so give them some time.
The facility is not on the National Health Insurance Scheme,
But the Takwensee Municipal Health Director, Emmanuel Afel-Kum, explained plans are in place to address the plight, although provision of a befitting facility has not been captured in the Assembly's 2019 budget.
Putting up residential accommodation for the staff. So far, that has not been captured in the plan for 2019. But we are very hopeful that that will be captured so that it will be added on, and then we can have full complement of staff when service delivery is in full stream.
He also assured of several interventions to improve patronage.
What we are looking at is for us to get the health insurance accreditation, and that will ease the burden of paying upfront for any services that you have to go for.
Healthcare at Wangalakrum, Inchemia and Bedukrum would require intervention to address the staff accommodation challenge.
Still on health, a traditional birth attendant at Asada in the Elembele district of the Western region has expressed concern about the negative attitude of some midwives towards them. Now, 62-year-old Mary Anyona, who had been practicing home delivery for 23 years, says development makes it difficult for traditional birth attendants to work effectively with health professionals.
Statistics from the 2018 maternal and neonatal ratio chart show the Elembele district records 191 deaths per every 100,000 pregnancies. Analysis of the maternal and neonatal mortality recorded cases indicates many pregnant women in the district patronize the services of unregulated traditional birth attendants, which mostly results in maternal and neonatal death. To further reduce the high incidence of maternal and neonatal death, traditional birth attendants have called for effective collaboration with health professionals. But Mary Nyona says the attitude of some midwives is a setback for effective collaboration.
When we encounter challenges during delivery, the cases are referred to health facilities, but some nurses are very hostile to our clients.
The Elembele Health Directorate is making efforts at reducing the high ratio to meet the national target of 54 per 100,000 live births through an intervention dubbed Accelerated Actions to Improve Maternal and Newborn Survival, working with the traditional birth attendants.
We don't want traditional birth attendants to deliver women, but we rather want to partner with them so they can bring the women to the health facilities to be supported by the pregnant women.
Away from that, former national president of the University Teachers Association of Ghana, Dr. Harry Agbanu, is calling for the resignation of the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Education, Winneba, Professor Afol Brony, for poorly managing the university. But President of Academic City College, Professor Fred Magbonlori, however, blames the crisis at the university on excessive political influence, insisting changing heads of institution is not the solution to the impasse. They spoke on the key points.
Former national president of the University Teachers Association of Ghana, UTAG, Dr. Harry Agbanu, said beyond the resignation of the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Afol Brony, the chairman of the university's council should equally be removed.
Having appointed a Vice-Chancellor illegally, not following the status of the university, is a very wrong precedent that has been set, and that is the beginning of the problem. And so that is why we think that the first step to reconciliation should be the dismissal of the illegal Vice-Chancellor who hoisted over the university, who today thinks that the university is his private property. The university has become a private SHS or GSS somewhere that the headmaster or the proprietor gets up and decides how you walk, how you talk, who your friends should be, the books you read, the time you sleep, whether you are entitled to go to court or not. That must stop. A second look must be taken at the council that has been constituted, because the council chairman himself is not fit to be there because he's vindictive.
President of Academic City College, Professor Fred Magbonlori, however, blamed the chaos in the university on political influence, adding that removing the vice-chancellor alone will not solve the problem.
Most of the people that I'm hearing talking about what is going on are politicians. Regional minister is involved, member of parliament is involved. Sometimes you lose count of who is actually in charge of the university. Where is the governing council? So what I think is, we need to go back, follow the statutes. Was this vice-chancellor appointed following the proper channels or not? I think it's more than just asking him to move out at this stage.
One of the dismissed lecturers, who is also president of the University Teachers Association of Ghana at the University of Education, Winneba branch, Dr. Kechwe Duku, maintained the crisis at the university should be blamed on interference by politicians. Dr. Duku echoed calls for resignation of Professor Afobroni, insisting he had lost the moral rights to lead the university.
Politicians determining the fate of the university. So if you are talking about political interference, this is a typical example. So whose authority do we now oblige? That even led to the brutality that we saw on campus when some students decided to take the instruction from, or the information they've received from the honorable, that the school is not closed down. So if the school is not closed down, then they can hang around, only to be asked to go home because the school is closed down.
Senior lecturer at the University of Education, Winneba, Dr. Ahmed Jinapon, noted the problems in the university could not be solely blamed on political influence.
I have followed this UEW on pass, and I've been very, very involved since 2015. I must say for the record that Afenya Makin is a very, very good friend of mine. Very good friend of mine. He, Honorable Afenya Makin, when he was working with Professor Afobroni to get Avoke ousted, no one was saying there was political interference. Today, he's saying that what is going on is wrong. And it's wrong because of what we, the lecturers, are witnessing. They are saying political interference. The
University of Education, Winneba, has been closed down following protests by the students demanding the reinstatement of some dismissed lecturers. On Friday, Minister of Education Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh brought together folding factions for peace talk. According to the minister, the prevailing situation at the university was a source of worry to his ministry and other stakeholders. At least 30 staff have either been dismissed or demoted at the University of Education, Winneba, as accusations and counter-accusations on the administration of the university culminated into students' demonstration.
You're watching Midday Live right here on TV3. After this break, we have more stories for you. Don't go away. Thanks very much for staying with us. Let's do some other stories now. And fertilizer smuggling has been identified as one of the major hindrances to the successful implementation of government's Planting for Food and Jobs program. Now, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture is, however, hopeful the rolling out of new modalities for fertilizer subsidy would curb smuggling. This is a report by Benjamin Adu.
The previous coupon system of fertilizer subsidies had its own challenges. Targeted farmers could not be reached as subsidized fertilizer was smuggled to neighboring countries. A new system has, however, been adopted for farmers under the government's Planting for Food and Jobs program. The modalities involve the embossment of fertilizer products with the logo of Planting for Food and Jobs program. Each retailer will be assigned an officer from the Nation Builders Corps to monitor the distribution process, which also involves regional ministers and district chief executives. At a workshop to explain the modalities to interest groups, some farmers were happy about the new guidelines.
The fertilizer, the price, I think it hasn't increased from that of last year, so it's something good. It's we have to do on our part to get more money. But we shouldn't try to go and enter and cheat government. That's the problem we have in Ghana. Coupons were not getting to the farmers. But this year, the minister has done when the fertilizer is in a special sack. So whoever go, they know this subsidized fertilizer.
Director of Crops at Ministry of Food and Agriculture, Seth Oseakoto, enjoined the public to safeguard smuggling of products meant for the Planting for Food and Jobs program.
My office will have administration of the electronic system. At the regional level, you have somebody, administrator, who will manage the system there, and then district level as well. So that if any fertilizer is procured by the farmers, straight away it comes to my office. So before they even bring their invoices together with other documentation to Accra, we already have information about what they have sold.
The Planting for Food and Jobs program is aimed at ensuring food security and encouraging more Ghanaians to venture into farming.
Patrons of the bus rapid transit in Accra would have to wait for 4 months to know if the high occupancy vehicle will resume services. The Transport Minister, Kweku Ofori Asimia, says challenges leading to the suspension of the services of the transport company are yet to be resolved.
Operations of the bus rapid transit referred to as Ayalolo in Accra was suspended last year following a number of challenges. These challenges include, but not limited to, non-payment of drivers' salaries and lack of funds to run the services, including the purchases of fuel and other essentials. The Ministry of Transport said it was taking steps to address the challenges for the bus rapid transit to resume work in the capital. However, 4 months on, not much has been heard about the BRT system in Accra. So what has become of the fate of the bus rapid transit in the capital?
They will be coming back if the corrections that we need to make, after we've made them, they will start the operation. But as it is now, if you put them on the road tomorrow, the problem will still be there. But at least we believe that if we are able to get the bus terminal at Tudu, as government has done, we are hoping that by June we should finish. If we believe that certain infrastructure, we finish at the entire one, if we finish the collaboration with the police, we put in place a certain form of enforcement, I'm sure we will be able to start the Accra operation. We are not going to abandon it completely, but we need to take some corrective measures to correct some of these problems that we encountered.
Government in 2016 secured 245 buses from the Scania Group of Sweden to operate a bus rapid transport system. 59 buses were deployed on the Amasaman Tudu and Kaswa Tudu routes, while 60 were designated for Kumasi. 6 buses were later deployed for shuttle services between Terminals 2 and 3 of the Kotoka International Airport in Accra.
A total of 120 drivers are being trained to operate the Scania buses as government moves the bus rapid transit operation to Kumasi, Takrady and Tamale. Now, Peter Kwao-Adato reports 100 out of the already purchased 245 BRT buses are being deployed in 3 cities as 40 of the drivers graduated with diplomas in their education.
The introduction of the scheduled bus services in the major cities, Kumasi, Sekondi, Takrady and Tamale, is to help reduce congestion and its attendant health and socio-economic costs. The initiative is a collaboration with the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development and the Ministry of Roads and Highways. Prior to the introduction of the high occupancy vehicle services in the 3 cities, drivers were trained by Government Technical Training Center in Accra.
We believe that modern buses are full of electronics, and you must train somebody to have the know-how before he drives. Just imagine somebody is driving one bus carrying about 40 or 50 people without person knowing exactly the kind of machine that he uses. And these people who are going to be drivers in Kumasi and Tamale, the fact that they've given the certificate doesn't mean that we don't need to be retrained. So we are going to make sure that maybe at least once in a year, you need to come to the training school to acquaint yourself with the modern technology that you need.
The training of drivers, according to the minister, is important to help reduce accidents and other challenges in the sector. Kwekwe Siama also hinted of the need to train drivers of other transport operators.
We have had a discussion with GPLTU, Protour, STC, Metro. Now we need to meet the VIP people and make sure that they also train their drivers. And we put inspectors on our road to make sure that these drivers qualify. We don't believe that it's going to be the panacea of road crashes, but at least it will contribute to the reduction.
The graduating 40 drivers are to begin work in Takrady and Tamale, whilst the next batch of 40 begin training at the Government Technical Training Center next week. Kweku Ofori-Esiama urged newly trained bus rapid transit drivers to be guided by the road traffic regulations to ensure that road carnage are reduced to its barest minimum.
Ogo is an indigenous delicacy of the Asantes which has over the years lost its popularity. As part of our Ghana Month series on local food, Beatrice Spiogabra visited a woman who sells Ogo and has filed this report.
Meet Akosia Brefi, who sells roasted plantain and groundnuts, popularly known as Kofi Brokman, at Stadium, a suburb of Kwase. She has been in business for 5 years and over the period expanded to add cocoyam and yam with roasted dried tilapia or kobe to serve the needs of clients. Akosia started selling Ogo when some clients started demanding for the delicacy. To prepare the meal, one needs roasted cocoyam, pepper, onion, groundnut paste, salted fish and oil. After mashing and grinding the ingredients, Akosia packages the meal in a disposable bowl and garnishes it with sliced pear, spring onions, and a piece of kobe for 10 cedis. She serves the meal in takeaway packs for her clients. Akosia receives about 17 orders daily for the meal, which is preferably eaten in the afternoon. She touted the health benefits of local foods and commended TV3 for using the month of March to promote Ghanaian dishes.
Our local foods are very nutritious. We need to eat them more often than junk food.
Authorities at Peki Senior High School are appealing to government to complete work on abandoned projects in the school. This, they say, will help ease pressure on already existing facilities, which is affecting teaching and learning. Here's a report by Robert Abilba.
Peki Senior High School was established in 1957. Although the student population has grown over the years, it does not match up with infrastructure in the school. Authorities say work on a dining hall kitchen complex and a 6 units classroom block under Get Fund, which started 5 years ago, have stalled. A 6 units classroom block which started in 1996 has also been abandoned. The road network to the school is also in a deplorable state. Headmaster of the school, Jonathan Delasi Agble, appealed to the school's PTA, all students association, philanthropists and other public-spirited organizations to come to their aid.
We need vehicles to run the school. All the vehicles you see outside over there are off the road. We have the Science Resource Center bus, which is down. The problem over there is just with the gearbox. Then we have the bone shaker, which we use to convey firewood or cut firewood from distance to the compound. It's also down, engine problem. We have the green bus, also engine problem. Now, when we get to our kitchen, there's nothing to write home about.
Meanwhile, the Ghana Revenue Authority, under their corporate social responsibility, has presented 100 monodesk for distribution among all second cycle schools in the South Dai district.
You're still live on Midday Live. We're going for a short break. Celebrated musician Samini grabbed 3 nominations at the 20th Vodafone Ghana Music Awards, including Reggae Dancehall Artist of the Year. Now, Samini is also eyeing the Reggae Dancehall Song of the Year, a category that has Stonebwoy and Shatawale as contenders. Samini and other nominees shared their expectations with TV3.
Nominations for Reggae Dancehall Artist: Samini, Stonebwoy, Shatawale, Episode, AK Songstress.
I'm the man. You know, it feels good to be here since 1999 to 2019. So this year's Music Awards is going to be like my celebration. I'm going to be there enjoying myself.
Nominations for Reggae Dancehall Song by Samini.
Your expectation ahead of? Well, I've seen a few nominations. I'm not too surprised because that's my genre and that's my category. So I hope to pick 1 or 2. I got 3 nominations, so at least 1 or 2 should be fine. I was getting a bit disappointed, but finally I got a nomination, so it's okay. Once you get a nomination, then you hope for the next step. TikTok's taking his neck out for the ultimate take.
Afro-pop song of the year. That Thing, Article 1 featuring Fataba.
How many nominations for this? I had my name, 1. The thing is, we are praying for the best. I even expected my song to be in best collaboration of the year. Unfortunately, we didn't get nomination for best collaboration, but so far so good, it's good. And nomination alone tells the whole world, oh come on, you're working. I want to find out how it feels to be part of history. This is the 20th edition.
It feels amazing, and it actually marks a whole kind of, I don't know, great starts in my career. This is the second time I've been nominated. First was on song, but it feels amazing to be in the Female Vocalist of the Year category. So yes, I think it's amazing, and it's 20 years.
Congratulations to all nominees. Now, a wrap of the major news events of the week as captured from the lenses of cartoonist Tilapia. And that's all for Midday Live this afternoon. Thanks so much for staying with us. My name is Aisha Yakubu. Have a good afternoon.